Mr. Albert Suarez of the Baltimore Orioles. This is the breakdown people have been asking me to do over his first 2 starts. It's no secret. If you said that Albert Suarez was actually going to be this pitcher that could be involved with the Orioles this year, hey, we know you're lying. Just don't lie to me. You can lie to Zach, lie to Kevin, but don't lie to me, because you didn't expect a 34-year-old that hasn't pitched in the big league since 2017. This is the thing with Albert Suarez in general. He has given the Orioles a chance to win both of his games. Going into the 6th inning, he's given up 0 earned runs. I'll explain here in a minute. Let's walk you through a little bit about Albert Suarez, all right? Come on, baby. Here we go. So you can see the last time he was really charted in baseball was back in 2017. And the crazy thing here, if I can move on over, and this is all being seen so far, all right? Back in 2017, he had 5 pitches: 4-seam, curveball, slider, sinker, changeup. And you look at that in 2017, heater 93.5, curveball 79.9. You know, you can see the rest of the numbers. The sinker is essentially the same as his fastball. But in 2014, he shortened things up so far. It's 4 pitches, but in my mind, it's really 3, because he really doesn't throw his curveball. It's mainly his 4-seam and his cutter are the 2 pitches, and he will mix in the changeup to kind of be that off-speed pitch that he trusts the most. But the biggest jump is 93.5 to a 95 average fastball at the moment. And this cutter, I'll tell you what, I think that's transformed his game, and that's a big reason why he's having success so far here for the Baltimore Orioles. As we keep going, I'll show you his stat lines and box scores already for his first 2 games. So the 2 games he's faced the Twins and the Angels, and people can go, well, Ryan, the lineups aren't very good. Well, guess what? Have you seen how the Angels still played against Grayson Rodriguez? They hit him pretty hard, didn't they? You can't say that. These are big league hitters. And so far with Suarez, he's been sensational. 5 2/3 innings, both outings, 3 hits and 4 hits respectively. Yeah, not a lot of Ks. That's okay, but I love this. No walks and then 2 walks, and he's doing this and giving the Orioles a chance to win. The Orioles have won both games that Albert Suarez has started this year. Now let's get into that arsenal of his pitches so you guys can get a little bit more context of why I say his fastball and cutter have been the big reasons why he has had success so far in the bigs. Rolling. All right, so we're going to see here, I want you to understand the concept of it. This is going to be Byron Buxton in his at-bat here in the 4th inning, and this is Suarez's cutter, and I will set this up for you. But you're going to see this ball move across the strike zone, and since it keeps going, Buxton hasn't seen him before. You're trying to get a scouting report. He's going to swing and realize, man, this ball moves way more than I thought. Ball's well out of the zone, right? Let's roll that back because I think it's good to know. So again, the ball is looking like it's going to be on the outside third of the plate. It keeps running. All right, so we're going to see it again. Right there, that's in a hitting mode right now. And Buxton's going to take a chance. He takes a chance, and that ball just keeps running out of the strike zone, almost into the other batter's box, right? On that chalk of the left-handed batter's box. Here's the next thing, though, with his 4-seam fastball. So you saw how much that ball moved on the cutter, okay? Now that's in Buxton's mind of going, well, okay, he's going to throw that cutter to me. I have to anticipate that ball moving away from me. Well, Suarez goes, well, guess what? I just got a straight heater for you. Try to hit this, and it confuses Byron. And it's going to be the middle in, and Buxton freezes because he's envisioning – here we go, sorry. He's envisioning that the ball is going to move away from him, and instead it's going right in. And he's like, damn, all right. So now, here's more examples of that cutter. So you saw the 4-seam. It makes you think a little bit. Now you're to see Suarez's cutter, and this is a big reason why he's had success is because he's locating this well. I mean, look, right on the black there, perfectly executed pitch, 0-1 count, weak contact, pop-up, beautiful, right? It's great. Adley gets under it, whammy, you're feeling good. Same thing here. That's a cutter. It's high. It kind of backs up on the lefty. But again, when you're trying to deal with a guy that has a cut fastball, you don't know how much it's going to cut, and you're trying to figure that out as you go. And if you can throw a cutter well, that's why you see guys like Corbin Burns and some of these other pitchers who've perfected it, the effect that it can have. Joe Adell, who had a good series against the Orioles. Now the fact of when you have the cutter and you're thinking, well, okay, it's a little bit slower. I'm going to have a little bit more time. Instead, Suarez right here is going to throw his regular heater, and Joe Adell is probably timed up more to that four-seam fastball that he's going to get out in front of this pitch and roll it over as a result. And that's what he does. Rolls it over. Westy makes the play. Joe Adell hustling him down the line there. But you're going to see that, the four-seam fastball, and this was probably the crazy thing, too, that he has, is that, again, Suarez, what's been the most impressive is because he's throwing 95 to 97, hitters can't always have that anticipation that they're hoping. That's why the cutter has been the biggest surprise, at least so far, for Suarez. Fastball here is at 97 with run. And that arm side run, for those that need to understand or a little bit more context, you can see Suarez is just trying to throw his four-seam fastball, but sometimes when you release it from a different angle, right, that release point can allow the ball to naturally run. So like Suarez isn't intentionally trying to make it into a two-seamer, but it runs like a two-seam fastball where it runs away from the hitter, and it's a perfectly located pitch. It's either going to be strike three if he's not swinging at it, regardless. Beautiful pitch by Suarez. One more example there of the heater. My bad. Straight heater, perfect location. Location's key. You saw that when Grayson got hit the other night, his location with his hard fastball was not where it needed to be. He left pitches over the heart of the plate. Angels made him pay. Now this is what I was going to talk about with the curveball. So the curveball for Suarez is a pitch that hasn't had a lot of depth to it, hasn't had a lot of movement. And the depth meaning that it's fooling the hitters, right? And Suarez is a reason why he hasn't thrown it as much because it hasn't been as effective and it's not as, consistent for him. So this probably should have been called a strike, right? But that's a hanging curveball. Like that didn't move too much. And if Sano is thinking that he could throw that, well, that's a tee-off pitch for a lot of hitters that are looking for a breaking ball up. They want that breaking ball up. And the next example is there's a breaking ball up here on the next hitter. And this is back to Moniak, which I was referring to. I got confused on that. I apologize. But Moniak's going to get a hanging curveball that just loops in there and floats in. And luckily, Urias makes a nice play. But that ball is in a very hittable part for a left-handed bat. That's going right into the sweet spot. Moniak smokes it, but right at Urias. So again, I'm going to show that to you guys one more time just to understand. Right there, sweet spot. Moniak, good swing, but right to Urias, right? But the pitch that actually is his out pitch for an off speed is that changeup. We talked about the four-seam, talked about the cutter. Your four-seam fastball sets up the changeup. And really, a changeup splitter can be the most devastating pitch to hitters if you can throw it right. There's a sequence for Trout. 3-2 count, and Suarez is going to drop a changeup off on him. And Trout's going to actually be early and foul this ball away. Middle, okay? All right. He feels like he maybe had a good pass. But this is why I know Suarez has confidence in it. Trout just actually made contact, pulled the ball. So you're thinking maybe, all right, he's got the timing down. But Suarez goes, I can throw a better one here. And I'm going to fool Mike Trout, which is hard to do. And Albert Suarez throws a changeup perfectly located on the inner part of the plate, and Trout's going, damn, can't believe I missed that one. But that is what Albert Suarez has done so well. And so for those to understand, I don't know what Albert Suarez's long-term plan is going to be, right? Albert Suarez could be a guy that, hey, maybe the magic runs out down the road, but looking at his stuff, it doesn't look that way. And at least for right now with all these Orioles injuries, Albert Suarez is going to get a chance to continue to start and to continue to impact this team. Why? His stuff looks good. He's executing his pitches, and he's giving the Orioles a chance to win each time he's gone on the mound. Still so far, no earned runs. And on top of it, aren't you rooting for a guy like Albert Suarez that has just grinded his way to get back to hopefully have a big league chance? And shout out to the Orioles scouting department of realizing that there was a guy that has been overlooked for a while, hasn't pitched at the highest level in the big leagues in 7 years, but he has the stuff to help a team, and not just help any team, help one of the best teams in baseball. So I hope you guys enjoyed that breakdown of Albert Suarez. Hit that like and subscribe button. Also, I'd appreciate that. And let me know, as always, who you would want me to break down next. And hopefully it's another Oriole that's having a lot of success.